was
Yes.
sharing with okay, so the recording has started. Huh? Great.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to
Hi,
Ecurious
Shweta.
Minds.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening. I'm
evening.
Pallavi.
Good evening, Pallavi.
Good evening. So good to see you all. Sonia hasn't joined in. I'm just waiting for Sonia and Jinal to join in and we'll start.
Right.
Hi, Sonia. Hi, Jinal.
Hi everyone,
Start.
good evening.
Hello.
Is that Usha? No.
Pallavi, is it okay if I share the screen? I'll
Yes,
start.
please. Do you have the rights?
Yes, I have the right.
Lovely.
No, you have disabled. So just
Please
if you could
check.
enter.
I've done multiple participants.
Perfect, done.
You all can take pictures to post on social media. Please go ahead.
We'll wait for
Jinal,
2 more
Sonia, please
minutes.
start.
Okay, start. Okay.
Yes, please.
Sonia, are you there? Yeah, I
How
can
many
see so.
joined
Yes.
it? 22. How many participants do we have this time, Miss Pallavi?
Swati, as many, except 3, everybody should be joining.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Please start. It's already 2 minutes up. We have only 40 minutes to learn.
Sonia, Pallavi, just 1 minute. Huh?
Meanwhile, I'll just go through the essential agreements again. Attendance is mandatory. Your participation for the season 7 is paramount important. It holds paramount importance. Please, please, please participate. You have taken the responsibility for bringing this change, so please stick to that. Hi, Chandrai. Thank you for mentoring Sonia and Jinal. You have been a backbone for this season 7, and yes, you are the backbone of this season 7. No matter wherever we get stuck, you are the person, our go-to person. Thank you so much for being there. And I thank you everybody for taking this responsibility for your learning. And please, I'll ask Jinal and Sonia to start.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. There was an issue. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another session where we've learned so much over the years and we will continue learning. As you can see, this is the Ecurious Minds logo. If you are posting anything on the social media, please use these hashtags while posting. We'll move on. So this is the book reading club, which we are doing this time. We have done another book of Trevor's and we are doing the inquiry mindset, the questions edition this time. So we'll have a look at the other books which he has written in the same series. That is the inquiry mindset. There was dive into inquiry. There is the inquiry mindset, which is nurturing the younger learners. There was the inquiry mindset assessment edition, which we have done together as the book reading club. And now we are starting with the questions edition. So again, we'll move on. You can see our details here, and you can see us on the screen also. So this session covers the foreword, the introduction, as Chandra rightly said, that these two also were significant in the chapters. So we've just tried to give you a glimpse of that, and then we will move on to chapters 1 and 2. So the foreword is by James Nottingham, who himself is name in education. I've just put a bit about him also on the screen. And what he says, just, a glimpse of what he's talking about the book. It's a distillation of his understanding of the science, art, and craft of education. He is talking about his favorite example, which is the question pencil. which I think we come across maybe in the book, we'll also see if maybe it turns out to be our favorite too. And how he's linking why with reason, a can with possibility, and how with meaning. Hopefully, this will help us all improve our use of questioning methodically and magically in the classroom. The next. So we already did this quiz as a prior, just to see where we stand in our use of the questioning practices. And Jinal will now share the results. So 38 of us took the poll. I co-design learning with my students in a variety of ways. Quite a few of us are doing this, but maybe not actually routinely. I use provocations in the classroom to spark students' questions and curiosity. Here, if you can see, many of us, around 34% are saying we do it routinely. So probably, maybe, see, Pallavi, it's a good idea that, where we find that there is something which the routinely, we are not doing it as routinely, we can reflect, we can set a goal on those parameters. Because as a group, we are saying that this is something we are not doing routinely. And similarly, if there is something where the score is a 2 or maybe even a 1, then we can set some goals on those parameters. Yeah. There is visible evidence. Maybe around 7% of us have little evidence of student questioning in our classroom, so we can reflect on that. Student questions are easily tied or connected to curricular outcomes. Routinely, it is actually saying 0. So maybe again, we can reflect here. Next. Curiosity is valued and discussed in our classrooms. It is a critical component. Almost 15% of us are saying we routinely, we are doing this. And student-generated questions shape much of the learning that occurs in our classrooms. Almost 8% are saying that yes, they do. But then there is a small percentage which, very little evidence of the same. The score is only 2. I am able to help students use academic language and curricular terminology in their questions. Here, actually, we have some who are saying like they are not able to do this. That is what I'm guessing the answer is. There's, even if it is one person, I think we all need to reflect as a group and see how we can maybe move ahead with this. Because we have 1 and 2, we have almost 16%. And also the ones who are doing it routinely is a small percentage. So this is something that we can reflect on. Students know that questions have a home in our classroom. I think we are all doing this very routinely, and there should not be any doubt in our minds about this. As a class, we reflect on the purpose and power of questions to shape learning. Again, here, maybe we can reflect, maybe it's happening sporadically, or maybe it's happening with a small group of students, is what we are trying to say. That as a class, how are we reflecting together? Maybe we can, when we come across those chapters, we can have some strategies to reflect on how we can do this as a whole class. I aim to build question competence in my students and in my context. So I think 24% of us are doing it routinely, but still, even if we have around 3% who are not, then we can work on this. How do we build? But I think as we move along in the book, question competence, building that is something that I think should happen if we are involved and we take the learning from our reading and from our collaborative discussions. I model questioning, thinking, and reflection. Again, I think because we are setting goals now, and what we thought is the Padlet where we will be sharing these goals, when we reach the end of the book, we can take this quiz again and actually see how we have grown in our question competencies. Collaboration and community are fostered with intentional planning in our classroom. Many of us are actually doing this routinely, collaboration and community. Yes. When I notice curiosity in my students, I leverage it as entry points to our curriculum. I think we are also, because we are following the IB pedagogy and we have provocation, that's how we begin our inquiry and that's how we maintain it also. So I think this definitely is something that we are all doing. I am mindful of the type of questions I ask students and how these impact thinking and agency, where they have their voice, choice, and an ownership in their thinking and their understanding. Yes, both close-ended and open-ended questions, because somewhere maybe we have this mindset that close-ended questions are not good or something, but it has to start from there and it has to build towards open-ended questions. So I think all of us are doing this. We believe that yes, they do have a home in our classrooms, and we use student-generated questions as formative assessments and evidence of learning. I think this is one of the few questions that we are seeing where almost 8 plus 11, 19, 20% of us almost are not doing this very routinely. So I think when we move ahead to our goal setting, these questions we can keep in mind and try and set goals for ourselves based on these parameters. So like we do it with students, our SMART goals should be timely, should be realistic, should be a little challenging. That is why they will be goals for us to achieve. They should be measurable and achievable. So we have the QR code here, and I think we can also share the link in the chat. Jinal?
I've shared.
Oh yeah, Jinal has shared it. So let's take, maybe it's 6:10 now. Let's take maybe 5 to 6 minutes. Pallavi, is that okay? To do our goal setting?
Yes. Why not do the goal setting back home? We just left. Our 11 minutes are gone. Or do you want
Okay.
us to do it here? We can do it after the class, after the session.
Okay, ठीक है.
Or else, Pallavi,
So-
we had kept 5 minutes. I mean, because it's just first two chapters, nothing much to cover. But it's okay if we can do it later also. I mean, we are okay with that.
So we only have the other activities. We're talking about the benefits, one
Yeah.
slide. Then we have the misconceptions. For the misconceptions, we are doing a breakout room.
So
I
for
think which
that,
might
give
take
more time. This
Okay,
we can
ठीक
do.
है. We can give 15. ठीक है.
But
So
please
anyway,
do
the
it.
link is
Yeah.
हाँ,
Everybody,
Yeah.
whosoever is present, you will be a continuous member for the rest of the sessions as well. Please do it when you when the session gets over. The next 10 minutes, just
Also-
give it to this. Thank you.
We'll share the QR code and the link on the group.
Yes, Chandrai, you want to say something?
I agree. People can put in their reflections in the Padlet after the session, because what I was just requesting for is Sonia and Jinal, if we could post the graphs so people can reflect back using the graphs as well.
We'll
So
share the
that, you know,
PPT.
that gives
Okay.
yeah.
We'll share the link to
Yeah.
the
Thank
PPT.
you.
We'll
Yes,
share the
yes.
link to the PPT also in the
Yes,
Padlet.
you'll get the
In
recording
fact,
as well.
That was a yeah, everything. So in the chapter 1 and 2, which Chandrai has created on the Padlet, everything will be available there. So in
Yeah.
fact, that will be a ready reference for us to set our goals, because we said that we'll do it based on those parameters. So ठीक है, that's a good idea.
Upload the PPT on the
And-
Padlet.
Yes, we will. As soon as the session is over, we'll
Yeah.
upload this also on the Padlet, and then the reflection can be completed from there. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
if we, yeah. Yes, it will be a personal goal setting. It will be an individual goal setting. Someone is asking on the chat. This is an individual goal setting. Jinal, you'll.
Hi. So we have all gone through Cat Murdoch's inquiry cycle. This is the inquiry cycle by Trevor himself. You can just take a look at it. This is just for the reference of how it is similar and how it is different from the Cat Murdoch cycle. I know many schools are using Trevor's cycle now, and there are been arguments about why and how. So we'll just not talk about that, but just a reference for you all. Maybe you can just take a screenshot or something, or it is available on his website as well. Yeah, I'll move on, everybody. Yeah. Okay, we all know about types of student inquiry. He has already spoken about this in his previous edition, and he's going to talk about this in our questioning edition also. And just as a start, we all know the structured inquiry is here, controlled inquiry is here, guided is here, and free inquiry. So if you have read the introduction and foreword of this book, he has mentioned that it is not necessary to reach to the free inquiry zone. It is not important. Either we can be in the controlled inquiry zone or the guided inquiry, but not all of us would reach to this zone. So just heads up. we all know the
I may add,
benefit.
Jinal.
Sorry. Yes, Ms.
I
Chandra.
just want the slide previous, what I would just want to tell everybody is that inquiry is the underlying pedagogy. So whether it's structured, whether it's guided, inquiry is happening. And that's where the questions place themselves and the kind of questions you ask, the question competencies the student develop. So what he's trying to say is that inquiry will happen in all stages, and also that it takes care of diverse learners. So it's not that free inquiry is the best form of inquiry is what's mentioned by somebody in the forward, right, Jinal? Thanks.
Yes. Yes. So we have gone through the benefits. We are not going to delve much in deep because we all have read the book and he has explained all the benefits quite clearly. So if anybody who would like to talk about anything, we have like 1 or 2 minutes to have a discussion, or else we can go ahead. Okay, I think we'll go ahead. So what are we going to talk now is about misconceptions, because I am sure all of us have these misconceptions. We have scenarios like this in our classroom on day-to-day life. So these are the 7 misconceptions which Trevor is talking about. And now we will get into the breakout rooms and use the VTR Connect, Extend and Challenge. And we are going to have 4 breakout rooms. So how many participants are there? So maybe
There are
8 in
31 participants, but I don't think
31.
I have the right to start the breakout. It's gone. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I don't have breakout room option in my Zoom.
So then how do we go
Was
about this? Individually, we can do that.
If I
Even
may,
an option.
yeah,
We
if
can
I may
share it
suggest,
in.
we can also do.
Sorry, go ahead, please.
No, if I may suggest, we can also do through WhatsApp. I mean, the group.
I have a suggestion. Since we already have a Jamboard, we could do a count as per the list you have, Pallavi, and we could put people into groups who, how many pages there are. So page 1, all numbered 1 can go into that Jamboard and they can connect. And maybe it's not much of a discussion, but each one can do a combined reflection on the Jamboard.
Otherwise, can't we use Padlet? Like
Yeah,
if
Padlet
somebody
is there. Yeah.
Use
yeah, so we
Padlet.
can
Yeah, put it in the
I'll
Padlet then.
randomly take names.
Yeah.
Who's going to be in the group? Sorry. So Anu, AP 13 Preeti, Archana, Asha, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Ashwini. Join one group, please, on Padlet. Make one column. Then Hanu, Humaira.
Yes, Palak, I'm so sorry for to join late. I just stuck in a traffic
Yeah,
jam.
you continue from here. So Hanu, Humaira, Jyoti Andrew, Kirtida, Krutika. 5, right? Join group number 2. Mamta, Neha, Noreen, Rachna, Rakhi, Ruby. Join 3. Ruchi, Ruchi Gargia, Ruchi Kalra, Sakshi, Satya, Shibani, Shweta. Join group number 4. Shweta Malu, Sneha, Sonam, Shrilu, Sukanya, and Swati. Join the last group. Oh, I also have to join. Achha, I'll keep.
Even I have to join.
Pallavi, I can't
So-
see the groups.
Me
Will you
also.
make the groups
It's
again?
Padlet.
Means-
Padlet.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No problem. So I'll come with Jinal in one of the groups.
And I've created the post. Yeah, somebody can see, right? Group 1, 2, 3,
Yes.
4. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are 4 groups. So, but how do we
Yeah.
discuss with each other?
We write.
We can do it individually. Is that okay if we do it individually in session? Like
Yeah. And then you can
individual-
comment together. You can comment
Yeah.
together, Gina?
Yes, they can.
On the
We-
Padlet here?
Yeah.
Or on the
Yeah.
Okay.
In
So
the
everyone
comment
does a
section,
connect extend challenge, and then they
I'll
can
just
have a
post
common
this
comment.
on the
Yeah.
Next time we can ask somebody who has breakouts to create the link.
The Zoom.
Yeah. Anybody who has this option of breakout rooms?
Lavi, maybe you can try to make somebody else the co-host, and then we can try to see if they
Yeah.
have
Okay.
breakout option.
So you tell who has any, then I'll make that person the co-host.
Pallavi, may I request you to post the Padlet link again in the chat? Because I don't have access to the chat. It have been
Jinal has
earlier.
just posted. You want me to post it again?
Okay.
In the WhatsApp group.
I can't see if it has just been.
I'll
in
do it
WhatsApp or here in the chat.
I'll put
We'll
it in
put
the
it in the
WhatsApp
WhatsApp
group
group
as
also, maybe.
Got it. Excuse me.
Jinal, you can join whichever group you want to. You are the you're the host.
Even I have to join a group.
Yes, join whichever you want to. Chandrai as well. Join whichever you want to.
guys, we have 15 minutes. So we'll be back by 6:35. Yeah, I think that's enough. Or 6:30.
If anybody has breakout option, please tell me. I'll make you co-host or I'll make you the host.
We just try making me the co-host.
I
Let me
can
see if
try.
this opens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chandra.
Okay, fine.
Chandra, I'm making you the host.
Oh.
Do you have the
can't
breakout
see.
option?
No. No. Sorry.
No problem. Archana, do you have Humaira?
No, I guess only for the paid Zoom, no, we get this breakout.
Achha.
Otherwise, we don't. Yeah. So I didn't get it. I mean, how are we going to discuss this? We have to just put our thoughts on Padlet. That's it.
Can't we discuss as a group?
Yeah, let's just discuss together, no?
Yeah, because it
think
says in
that
10
was-
minutes the meeting is going to get
Yeah.
over.
I was thinking about that only, that let us have a open discussion on the forum, and then probably we can write it individually
Yes.
on the panel. Yeah.
Yes.
Do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So, Jinal, share that misconceptions wala slide, and then we can just have a
Yes.
discussion about that itself.
Yes.
That what are the misconceptions, and we can. So when we talk about, okay, how is the first thing is connect. How does this connect to what we already know? Is that is what we do. So, the questions are not important. We cannot answer all questions. Distractions, students don't engage. Silly and irrelevant questions. Achha, questions are not important. As closed questions are a waste of time. So these are some of the misconceptions we have. How does this connect to our experience in our own classrooms? Maybe some of us can start sharing.
Yeah, it's time to unmute, girls.
You know what I feel? I mean, I'm not very sure whether it's right, this thing, but basically, when we have got a lot of curriculum to cater to, and probably because we are still quite, floundering with questions and with inquiry and all, sometimes we think if we take it on the questioning stance, probably I'll lose time. And, that time frames and probably that will not work. But now as I'm reading still further, I'm seeing many changes. So what I filled on the Padlet is I've got a mind shift after that.
So I'm guilty of, when I work with my teachers, I'm guilty of sort of shepherding them towards, the inquiry that has been, the units of inquiry, the questions related to maybe the lines of inquiry or the central idea. and because of time constraints, of course, and telling them that of course, you must welcome all questions. However, if they're not really very much linked to whatever we are, the outcomes that we are wanting to achieve, then push them towards personal inquiries or some such things. So, yeah.
I would
I
just
don't
like to
know.
add my thoughts to it. Questioning is also a skill. Yeah, we need to first model it, train the students, give them the exposure. What we used to do before these books were published was thin and thick questions. How do they look like? We started with that. So we are on the same page of questioning is important for an inquiry-based classroom to happen. But before the students start questioning, it's better to guide them how exactly to frame the questions, what are the ways in which we can ask, how they can lead further into inquiry using their questioning skills. And yes, initially, when I, as a teacher, started teaching in IB, initially it was how do I address those questions which are not relevant to the inquiry unit of inquiry which I'm doing? How do I address those questions? Also, I have experienced that to ask question because it is way to take the inquiry learning ahead. We ask question, then how many of us do visit to those wonder walls to check whether all these questions have been addressed, whether relevant or not relevant, whether they are getting these answers or no. So that is what a learning for me is. Let them first model it to them how exactly to frame the questions, what is the best way. Second, giving them the freedom to ask question. Third is visiting to your wonder walls to check whether all these questions have been addressed or not. If all will be addressed, then next time the child will be curious to ask more. That's what I
Also,
feel.
I think like
I actually would like to second what Ms. Archana has just spoken about. Though there is no misconception as such, if I can say right now in our sections when we ask them the questions and they ask the questions, we welcome all the questions. But when it comes to actually going back to see whether they were addressed or not, so that is the biggest thing that we have to be doing, going forward. That has been a reflection for us. So yes, they do ask questions. They know that they're important to be asked. They're very, very enthusiastic about putting their questions up there on the wall. But how much is it that as a mentor, we are actually able to go back to it to see that they've been addressed is something that we have reflected on, and we probably will be taking it forward this year. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Archana, for that.
Yes,
may
I
I
Ruchi.
just
just
want
add
to
on?
chime in
Yeah.
with what
So I was
Archana and
just sharing
Shweta are
like,
saying.
hello?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was just adding on to what Archana and Shweta are saying. I think the word model is also we have to explicitly teach students how to ask good questions. And I remember those quadrants, closed questions and open questions. Every question I believe a student asks is a good question. So they should not feel, what would I say, that they're not asking a good question. Every question is a good question. And I think the book is addressed towards question competencies. Of course, if the questions are good, I'm sure they will drive the learner outcomes. They will drive the conceptual understanding. So what you're saying is, yes, the questions may get answered. Some may not get answered, but that's also okay. So if we are modeling that, then I think, students will feel. So explicitly, we need to make sure that, we are asking questions. So I just wanted to just chime in with the thing, which is the right question. I think any question a child asks, he may be in the first stage of, if I were to use the swimming pool, every question is a good question. But then, how do they go deeper? Does it teach them what are open-ended questions, what are closed? Yes and no questions will not work. So it depends on that. Yeah,
Thank you.
And
somebody
I
else
think
was
it's
speaking. I'm
Thank you, Ms.
sorry.
Chandrai,
and
for that,
Yeah.
because
and
we
I
what
think it's the
the
biggest.
technique that we have been using. Sorry, Ms. Ruchi, let me just finish just one point
Yeah,
from
yeah,
my side. It was like you say that we have to be modeling them. We've been modeling the technique of QFT with them, question formulation technique. So that is something really worked with us for the last 2 years. But then, yeah, coming back to seeing whether they were addressed or not, and of course they have a sense of what is a closed question, what is an open-ended question. But yeah, just coming back to it and seeing that all of it is being addressed so that they keep asking, that curiosity remains with them, is something that we need to nurture this year. Yeah.
Also,
So
I would
I was
like
just
to
saying,
add based on the maturity level of the students. What
Yeah.
we do is, when they are at the lower levels of the grade, we start with thin and thick, then we move to open-ended and closed, and then we go to factual, conceptual, and debatable. So my higher grades are ready to understand what kind of factual questions can they ask, what are the debatable questions they can frame to drive the inquiry ahead.
And Archana,
And
just
also,
to
I was
add in
just
again to
sharing
what you
that,
said is more about the provocation. The kind of provocation you have will drive the question. Sorry again, Ruchi, Miss Ruchi, I'm sorry,
no,
please go
that's
ahead.
okay. That's okay. I was just sharing, like, it's the biggest misconception of teachers, you know, who are running a blend of both the curriculums, the IB and the ICSE or any other curriculum. They don't welcome the questions, you know, each and every question of the student at the later stage as well, because they think, you know, like, we cannot answer all the questions. So I can see this difference because last year only I've changed my school and we are running a blend of both these curriculums, ICSE and IB, and it is not helping in igniting the curiosity of asking questions amongst our students. So they feel very overburdened, you know, like the kids are asking beyond context, or we have to go through the NEP as well. So I think that is creating a little problem where I'm working now.
I think if I can just add, like, you know, when we are teaching children to ask questions, it is not that we have to answer those questions. I think the first step when we teach students to ask the right questions, you know, by the framework, the prompts that we give, the first slide, one of the few first slides that we had shared over here, where Trevor talks about, you know, moving from structured to free inquiry. Asking the right questions will also take you on the path towards the independent inquiry, where when you ask the right question, you also know then how to answer that question for yourself. So it's not that asking the questions is like, you know, we don't have time to answer. Yes, obviously we don't have time to answer all of students' questions, but are we empowering them to be able to ask the right questions and find the ways to answer those questions?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
your
Because, you know, then the kids will not even ask, they will not come up with any kind of questions. Otherwise, it will ruin their curiosity. So
what you can
it's
do,
like I've seen
Ruchi,
the
going
yeah.
forward, you can ask them to do a research on what they have found out. Give them the sites
Yeah.
which are age appropriate. That's what I do in the class. So whenever
Yeah,
children
because
come
you
with their questions,
yeah.
what we can, if it is a part of the session which is going on, we address it right there and then. But if it is a little beyond, then I ask them to do their personal inquiry, come back tomorrow, or if it is even more deeper, take 2 days time, come back, and then share it with the class. Plus,
Yeah.
plus they get appreciated for that, so that the class has a
Of course.
wall where I put the